to log in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Just want to make sure everyone has had time to get their... Today's webinar will feature Broom Street's mobile desk with DocLib Mobile, the latest addition to the mobile desk suite of apps. The webinar today is planned for 1 hour, and we'll do our very best to keep this on schedule. During the webinar, your phones will be muted, so if you have any questions, please use the question pane, which you should see in the bottom of your control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. Go ahead and enter your questions as they come up, and we'll answer them at the end of the session. My name is Tim Rabo, and I'm the Director of Sales for PIX. And with me on the call today is Rich Rosenthal from PIX, who will be moderating the webinar and managing the questions as they come in from attendees. Also on the call today from Broom Street Software is Martin Cohen and his partner, Steve McHugh. We're planning to take you through a brief presentation followed by a live demo of just a few of the mobile desk apps that are available, and then we'll get into Q&A at the end. This webinar is brought to you today by two companies who have been partners with QAD and dedicated to the QAD customer base for over 18 years, PIX and Broom Street. Broom Street are the developers of Mobile Desk, a suite of mobile apps designed specifically for the QAD market, and it's the reason that we're all here today. PIX developed DocLib, an enterprise document management and workflow solution built for QAD to help customers move closer to the paperless office by converting manual paper-based processes into more efficient workflow-driven processes. PIX has partnered with Broom Street not only to sell the mobile desk suite of apps, but to extend that platform through the joint development of DocLib Mobile. DocLib Mobile is an app that we designed specifically for DocLib users, and it's now part of the mobile desk suite of apps. And this is just another example of how Mobile Desk continues to expand and grow, providing tremendous value to the QAD customer base. So why go mobile with QAD? Well, this is just one way to improve productivity of your workforce by providing users who are already mobile with access to QAD so they can do their jobs. Empower users who are out of the office without the need for a laptop. We all know that this can be a challenge when you're traveling or at the customer site and you don't have access to your laptop. So what if you could provide users with access to QAD while they were out of the office or away from their workstations? They could complete critical QAD transactions in real time. No need to wait until they're back in the hotel or back at their workstation in order to do their job. Make use of the investment you've already made in mobile devices and put that power of QAD into the palm of your hand. Approve purchase requisitions. I was at a QAD conference recently, and during one of the sessions, the person in front of me was approving a requisition using Mobile Desk. True story. Scan barcodes and complete inventory transactions. Capture pictures of shipments before they leave the dock, or document the condition of the product as it was received, and link those images back to QAD records. Once those images are linked in QAD, users can find them very quickly just by logging in and into a QAD browse and doing a lookup. Very powerful. These are just a few of the examples of why going mobile with QAD can dramatically improve the productivity of your users. And now I'd like to turn over the presentation to Steve McHugh from Broom Street, who will continue with the presentation and then go right into the live product demonstration. Okay, Steve, are you there?
Yes, welcome everybody.
Okay.
As we transfer control from Tim to myself, today we're going to go through the apps that we have published on the App Store, our DocLib Mobile, Order Desk, Purchasing Desk, Inventory Desk, Planning Desk, Admin Desk, Mobile Trunk, and Sales Desk. We're excited about our new app, Field Desk, that will be available mid to late February. Imagine a sales rep, as they head out to their office at a customer site, they have access to sales statistics, navigation information on the quickest route to each stop. Once they arrive at the customer location, they have instant access to any and all information for that customer might inquire about at their fingertips. Maybe they need to place a purchase order or look at open accounts receivable real time on their smartphone or their tablet. That's the power of mobile desk. Imagine inventory personnel using a smartphone or tablet to count and identify inventory, scanning the barcode or manually recording the inventory all in real time with full access to your ERP system. No more expensive scanning equipment. Use that equipment that you already have invested in your smartphone or tablet, using your mobile device. No more re-entry of orders from paper sheets. No more uploading at the end of the day. Enter an order while at a customer site. Pickers can work at your warehouse for afternoon delivery. That's service. That's mobile desk. You can upload documents as soon as you receive them using DocLib Mobile. Out of the office when you receive the customer PO, no problem. Enter the sales order in Order Desk and use DocLib Mobile to upload the PO and link to the sales order. No need for the separate systems or databases. Images and documents are stored in DocLib Mobile and linked to your Acuity data. What are our benefits? We get improved quality of service. We get greater productivity. We get more accurate data capture, and we get a competitive advantage. Who wants to be mobile? Sales reps and regional managers, your customers, your suppliers. Executives want to be mobile. Warehouse staff, managers, buyers, and planners. What can I do for mobile desk? I can check order statuses, review my KPIs, release credit holds, scan barcodes, update due dates. You see the pattern here. You can pretty much do anything on your mobile device that you can currently do in your ERP system. The opportunities are endless. Personalizing your experience. This slide doesn't do justice to how powerful it really is. I can define data subsets for your user ID. Currently on your smartphone, I only look at the weather where I live. I don't look at the weather in all cities. Same concept here with your ERP system. I'm personalizing your experience on your smartphone or tablet. We can define alerts by user ID. View the data that's important to you. Very important. What Acuity supported versions are we on? 9.0 and EV2. SC all flavors. EE all flavors. On-premise, in the cloud, Progress 9, 10, and 11. I'd like to talk over the architecture from a technical standpoint. I'll go over this pretty briefly, and if you have more questions after the webinar, please don't hesitate to contact us. But basically, you can run in 3 different options. You can go a single-tier deployment where you're taking your mobile device or computer and going directly through the firewall to your Acuity server. You have another option where you're taking a 2-tier deployment where you're taking your mobile device or computer, going through the firewall, hitting a front-end server, whether it's a virtual server or a physical server, and then connecting to QAD. You can also set up your virtual server on a DMZ port. So users, if you're very concerned about security, you can go directly to the DMZ, which will then connect back to your QD database. And also, if you're really concerned about security, you can use the VPN technology that comes with your smartphone, log into the VPN first, and then connect to the mobile device. So really the options are on how you're comfortable exposing your data to the internet. Again, if you have any detailed questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask, and we can set up a meeting. Today, we're going to do some demonstrations. We're going to demonstrate the inventory desk. Now, the inventory desk, no more expensive barcode readers. We'll be able to perform real-time transactions. We can read the barcode labels using the device camera. We can do receipts, issues, cycle counts, transfers, and we can do real-time secure inventory reporting. So what you will see is you will see a Android device So right now, this is an Android phone running our inventory desk. So what we'll do is we'll click on the inventory desk. As you see here, we have alerts. Alerts can be user-defined alerts that will show inventory positions or any other alert that you can think of, we can have show up on your mobile device. We can search items. Now, when we search items, we have options. We can scan, we can type it in, or we can pick from a list. So let's say we're walking around the warehouse and we decide to scan an item. Using the technology embedded into your device, it will scan a barcode and immediately return you back to the app. From this point, we can search our item, and it comes up. So we'll click on that item. So now we have some information about the item that shows up. The nice thing about mobile desk is that we have configurable screens on the back end. So if you wanted to add fields, you can add fields and calculations to show on your device. From here, using the device technology, we can scroll right to left using the built-in slider functionality of either an Android device or an iPhone. And we can see things like our location detail that supports that inventory. We can scroll again and look at our transaction history. We can also drill down into our transaction history and see if we see, well, how that cycle count, who did that cycle count, what was the location, more detailed information about the transaction. Again, powerful information right on your handheld. We can look at any MRP detail for those who are interested in your supply and demand situation. We can continue to search, and we see some allocations. Is this inventory that is in the warehouse allocated to a particular order, sales order, or work order? Again, the ease of use for your end user. No more old scanners where you have to use a keyboard. This is all using touchscreen, iPod, Android technology that, for the most part, people are familiar with. So as we're going back, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually do a cycle count transaction. So when we do a cycle count transaction, we can either do it from a list, or we can just pick that with a cycle count. So a nice feature of our mobile technology, again, is remember when I said I personalized the data, we set up a default site for this user so that no one has to choose a site code. We're in the warehouse that we work in, so the site code will default to the site defined on the back end. Now that we have an item, we'll take a scan of the item as we do our cycle count. So as we go through this, we also have work order receipts, PO receipts, work order issues. We're now selecting the location for our cycle count. We can key in a lot number or scan one in. And then once we're ready with all our information, we can key in our quantity and submit that to the database. Now that it's submitted, it real time will go into your QAD system. If you're on an older version of QAD, it uses SIM technology. If it's on a newer version, it will use QExtend. So again, you have the ability to switch how you're loading the data into QAD. So again, now we'll go back to search inventory. We'll key that item in again, or scan it. If you notice, our inventory balance went up from 533 to 4 from 533. So real-time transaction integration into QAD directly from your smartphone or tablet. Very exciting. We're excited this technology exists. And if you have any questions, more detail, we can set up something after the webinar. So there's our cycle count. At 2:18 in the afternoon. So what we'll do now is we'll leave our inventory desk application, and we're going to bring up an iOS application for sales desk. The next two demonstrations will be done on iOS technology. One thing to notice is that whether you're using an Android, an iOS, or our web portal, all the back-end technology remains the same. So it's device agnostic. So the functionality, while it may look different on an iOS device or an Apple device, it will look the same. So we're going to go to our sales desk application. So our sales desk application is used for, I call it a mini CRM system for your sales reps and or your customers. So based on the back end, we can define what customers you have responsibility for. So when we go into the customer view, you'll see a list of all the customers that you're responsible for. You will not see customers that you're not responsible for. And if you're interested in giving all this information to your customers, you could set up your customer as a user so they would only see their customer code in QAD. So right now, we'll pick one of our customers and see what type of information we can see. Imagine we're going to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and we need to have some information about this account prior to walking in, engaging them in their sales. Right now, I can see information about the customer detail. I can see their year-to-date sales, their open AR. And if I want to drill into their open AR, I can do so. From their open AR, I can see, have they paid their bills? What's the last payment? What's their credit rating? Their credit limit? And I can also drill into a particular invoice and have real-time information right at my fingertips. So again, this is real-time connecting to the QAD database real-time. I can also look at some things like their current sales, open sales, which will show all their sales for the year. I can drill it by product line, by item or description. And this will show me my 2015 total sales, broken out by product line. I can drill in by item. From this point, I can say, my customer wants this report. So I can click on the hamburger in the upper right-hand corner, and I can actually email this report directly from my tablet to my customer. Or I can email it to my boss and say, my product line sales are down for the quarter. Maybe I need to address this with either the customer or my boss. So again, real-time information. I can drill into a product line to see what items I'm selling, and I have comparison to last year. So these are some of the things you can do with your sales desk. I can look at open orders. We won't go into every drill. We can look at any master comments that are set up. So if there's something I need to be concerned of, and the back-end office people have said, it's your use of master comments. You can come in here. Very powerful. So that's sort of sales desk. What you can also do is get a global view of your customers. So again, if I have responsible for 20 customers in my territory, I can go into global view, and I can click global view, and then I see a global picture for the customers I'm responsible with. I can see my month-to-date, week-to-date, quarter-to-date, year-to-date sales, compare it with last year. Again, we have the ability to add additional fields on screen, so if you want to see more information. And then what I can do from here is I can look at my total sales again, but what this will be is all your sales, not specifically for one customer. So that's the power of a global view. I can look at all my unallocated inventory. If I want to look at a particular product line or a particular item, I can drill into all my inventory in the system. Again, it's a real-time view of my unallocated available inventory, broken out by product line. And from the product line, you can eventually go to the lot number. So very, very powerful. I can look at any consignment inventory. I can look at my last 45 days of shipment. So if I wanted to view my daily shipments, you could see the last 45 days. So that's giving you a little sense of what Sales Desk can do for an organization, real-time access, secure access to pertinent customer-specific data. That's our Sales Desk. And not last but least, we're going to cover our Order Desk app in conjunction with our DocLib mobile app. So imagine I'm at a customer site and they wish to place a purchase order on me. So what I can do is, not only does Order Desk allow you to place orders, but I can look at my open orders, past due orders. I can do credit release from my device. Very powerful with the credit release, because if I have an organization where I'm lean and I only have a couple credit releasers and they're out at a conference, I can do my credit release directly from my mobile device. But for this demo, we're going to concentrate on creating an order. So what we'll do today is we'll create an order that we received from the customer by using Manage Orders. We'll go to Request for Order. We can do a quote or an order. In this case, we're going to pick an order. It defaults to order, but I can choose a quote if I wanted to. And from here, I'll pick a customer. Again, these are only the customers that I'm responsible for. Imagine giving this to your customer so they can go and place orders directly from their phone or from the web portal. We'll pick a ship to. We'll type in a purchase order. Now, what we'll do here is, later on with DocLib Mobile, we're going to be able to scan this purchase order and upload it into QAD. We'll pick an item number, and we'll pick a due date, and we'll submit that order to the back end. Once the order is submitted, it asks, do I wish to load it into QA? Do I wish to enter another line? In this case, we'll say no. And what has happened is that now has gone into QAD. And if you notice, an alert just popped in, right? And that alert indicated that a new order has come into QAD and has been pushed back to the mobile device. That our order number SO125536 is now currently in the QAD database with our purchase order of Martin PO7. Now what we'll do now is we'll jump over to DocLib Mobile. So we're exiting the app, and we're going to go to DocLib Mobile. So imagine we're going to add an image now. And when we add image, we're going to take a snapshot of that PO that we received from the customer. Not only can you do customer POs, but you can do packing slips, and you can do up to as many document types as you like by defining that on the back end. Maybe I want to do receivers. Maybe I want to take pictures of work orders as they leave the factory floor. So using the camera, the power of the device, we can take a photo, or if they send it to you in an email, you could use it from the library. But we'll take a picture of a purchase order. We're going to use the photo. And then when we're ready to upload it, we hit the upload button. What's happening here is there's a couple things that happen there. It says it actually validated that that was a valid PO. If that PO was not valid, it would give you a message saying that PO was not valid. You'd have to rekey it in because it's communicating real time with the QAD database. Now if we want to retrieve that image, right, we have a couple options here. We can use this advanced search, or if we can use the ad hoc query search at the top of the screen. So if we key in Martin at the top of the screen, we should see a list of purchase orders that meet that criterion. If you notice, there's Martin PO. We can then select it, and the document shows up on the device. If you have back office personnel, they can review these images as well. So we have an advanced search as well. So maybe we wanted to search on an image. Maybe I wanted to search on a customer PO. So we'll select the customer purchase order. We'll select a keyword, where a keyword is a list of words that are available to choose that you can search by. In this case, we'll search by domain or customer PO. So again, our PO comes up with an advanced search. So there's many options, very, very quickly retrieving and storing documents using DocLib Mobile. Very powerful. Already using the technology and the hardware that you may already have in your organization. Next thing we'll show you is the Broom Street web portal. Now, all these fancy devices that we have, whether it's iOS or Android, are very powerful. But maybe you're at the office, or maybe you're at home, or maybe you have a customer who doesn't have a smartphone. They can come in using the Mobile Desk web portal and actually take advantage of all the same functionality that you have on your device. So what I'll do is I'll log into using your company code that you'll set up. We'll go into the Broom Street company code. And we'll pick our username and password, which remembers our username and password from the last time I logged in, and I can log into the web portal. If you notice, here are all the apps that I have available to that user ID. Now, obviously, a user wouldn't have all these apps because users would not cross these functions. But if I had Order Desk and Sales Desk, I would see that. If I had Order Desk and DocLib, I would see that. Or if I had our admin desk, where I can change passwords and security for your remote IT people. So if we go into Order Desk, as I mentioned before, you will see the same experience that you see on the phone, the same set of data. It looks a little different, but if I'm out about on my smartphone and I don't have it available to me on Android, I can go to a mobile website and I can use the same functionality I can using my smartphone or tablet. Again, it's the same exact back end. It's device agnostic, 24/7, anywhere, anytime. So what we're doing here is we're just going through all the available options that are available to us, the same as if you were on your device. We can go back home, and maybe we want to go into DocLib. Again, it looks exactly like the app did on the device. So again, I can add an image, I can search, I can do advanced searches, all from the web portal. Same functionality, slightly different interface, but again, available all the time. So we can actually click on the document and bring it up. As you would on your device, and you can then actually download it to a local drive on your PC. So this pretty much wraps up our technical demonstration of our mobile app. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass presentation back to Tim.
Okay, great. Thanks, Steve. That was really, really great demonstration. And hopefully everybody's getting excited about the possibilities of taking your users mobile with QAD. And Steve, one of the things, especially at the end there, the suite of apps really isn't device specific, right? You have an Apple device, you have an Android device, and you have the web portal. So you really have just about, any interface open to you to be able to get access to these apps. Really, really powerful. So what I'd like to do now is continue talking about the value proposition about what Mobile Desk can really bring to you and your company. All the apps that you see here, Sales Desk, Order Desk, Inventory Desk, are all bundled together and sold as a suite of apps. You don't need to buy each app separately, as they are all part of Mobile Desk. And new apps are being released all the time. For instance, DocLib Mobile was just released in January and is now part of Mobile Desk. And as Steve mentioned before, anyone on this webinar today who's using QAD service and support should be really excited about Field Desk, which is coming soon, and it'll be the next app that's released for Mobile Desk. And again, this app is part of that Mobile Desk suite, and it's going to be released at no additional cost to Mobile Desk customers. Perhaps you're looking for an app that's not listed here. We can build it. We've made the investment in the infrastructure to build these apps for Apple and Android devices. So let us know what mobile apps you would like to see next, and we can build it. A really great way to see the value of Mobile Desk is to try them for yourself, and we've got a couple of good ways for you to do that. One, you can download the free app and take it for a test run. Go to www.broomstreet.com, read the white paper on each app that's available, get familiar with the functionality. You've seen a few today in the product demonstration, but as Steve mentioned, there's a lot more available on the actual website. So download that white paper, see what it can do for you, And then go to the Apple Store or Google Play and search Broom Street and download the app free of charge. Another really great way to try the software before you buy is through our 30-day free trial. So you sign up today and you can get free installation of Mobile Desk for your company using your data. There really is no better way to see the value of software than watching it or seeing it at work with your data in your environment. So again, if you're interested in learning more or you want to start your free trial today, contact myself, Tim Rabo, or Martin Cohen using the contact information that you see on the screen in front of you. And just so everyone knows, we are recording this webinar for colleagues or people that couldn't attend, and you'll be getting a link to that webinar at the end so that you can share it with other coworkers. Perhaps you had people in a different time zone where this time wasn't really appropriate, so look out for that follow-up email. So now I'd like to get questions from the group, and hopefully as the webinar was unfolding there, you guys had questions and you typed them into your question bar. If you didn't get a chance to do that, you can do that now. Rich is actually going to be organizing those questions, and he's going to start asking the group. So Rich, I'll turn it over to you. Maybe you could go through the questions and see what we have out there.
Sounds good, Tim. Thanks. Yeah, we already have quite a few questions here, so I'm just going to go through some of these. And if we don't get to your question in this session, we will be contacting you just to answer the questions or any follow-ups that you have one-on-one. So the first question is, will it run on our custom code? By custom code, I'm assuming that what you mean by that is that you may have like a custom inventory transaction. And I think what Steve had pointed out, the integration between Mobile Desk and QAD is really done in one of two ways, either by a SIM interface type technology, uploading that, or via QExtends. So in most cases, if you have a customization where you're adding additional fields, have additional functionality, that will work fine, in and around the integration between Mobile Desk and QAD. But I guess that all depends. It depends on how extensive the customization is, and if there's anything that would need to be done on the Mobile Desk side to address that. But more than likely, it would be possible.
Rich, I wanted to make a comment on that as well.
Sure.
What we have done with our Mobile Desk software is we've provided user exits on every one of our web service calls. So if a customer has some customization logic that wanted to run, say, after a cycle count, you can insert that logic without changing the base Mobile Desk code, do a recompile for those who are technical, and it would run the same logic that your custom program does today. So that's pretty powerful that we have user exits on every web service transaction that happens straight out of the box. And we could explain how that works more in detail later.
Okay. Okay, well, Steve, on that note, this is probably another one for you. What happens if I lose the connection while running a transaction in Mobile Desk?
All right. Currently, our technology is going to change with Field Desk, because we know with Field Desk engineers it's going to be a lot more important that they can run in an offline mode. Our current mobile technology does not have an offline mode. So when you hit the submit button to submit a transaction, if you do not get a successful message back, it did not make it to QAD. Whether your internet connection was down or your database was down, it's not. So in that case, you'll know right up front. The user will know right up front that order, that cycle count did not go in. However, we do realize the value of offline mode, and it's something that we're working towards. Our Field Desk app will be an offline mode solution, and eventually we'll move all apps to an offline mode solution. But right now, the current apps that you have available today require an internet connection, but there is good error reporting to know that you've not connected to the database.
Great. Okay, thanks. Next question up. how are the alerts installed into QAD, or are the alerts just a part of the Broom Street functionality? I believe those alerts are just specific to the Broom Street mobile desk application, correct, guys?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Okay, moving on here. Okay, more of an implementation type question. How long does a typical implementation take? Well, just from a high level, if you notice that this is a mobile application, therefore, the amount of screens and the functionality that's provided to do the transactions is much less. I mean, if you just look at the order desk application and the fields that were required to actually generate a sales order in QAD, it's much less than the full-blown QAD sales order maintenance screen. Therefore, the training and implementation is going to be much less than it would be to implement a QAD application. But with regards to what Broom Street has seen so far, do you guys have a feel for like what a typical implementation cycle would take?
It all depends. That's a great answer, right? But the reality is you have to be careful, right? You don't want to give 100 sales reps the technology right at first. You just can't give them a device and say, go for it. You need to schedule some training, that what their expectations are when they're using the mobile device. And so what we have seen is that most companies that we work with do a phased approach rollout where we had an example with 50 sales reps using our Sales Desk app. They decided to turn it over to 5 managers, and then those 5 managers scheduled the training for their internal people. So we find that it does not take long to roll it out. It's just a matter of you must be careful with any new technology to manage the expectations and to manage, the chaos that can occur when people get their hands on a device. So again, it must be managed. Like anything else, it has to be managed. But it's not a long rollout. It does not take long.
Okay. Moving to a more technical question. How does the system handle record locks? And Steve, I think you really kind of touched on that before when you were saying the current technology with the messaging coming back that the transaction was successfully uploaded to the server. If there's a lock, then a user just would not get that message. It would be waiting for that lock to release. Is that correct?
Right. I'll go into some detail here, but the nice thing about the mobile desk is that when you submit a transaction, it actually writes to our mobile desk database. So the chances of a record lock on the device are very slim. Now, where you may see a record lock is when you're trying to upload that transaction into QAD, right? But from a device standpoint, the user will receive the successful message, and then in case of a sales order, they'll get an alert that says that transaction went through. So the chance of a record lock on the device is very minor. Once it gets over to the QAD side, there is a potential for it. All what will happen is that they won't see, it won't go in as real time as they think it would. So if I do a cycle count and someone is in that inventory item in QAD, the cycle count won't process until that person's out of the system. But on the device itself, it's going to be very rare that you'll see a record lock.
Gotcha.
And it's designed that way. It's designed that way.
Understood. Okay. Well, great. The next question. We have a lot of customizations. Will the app show all the fields in our application? I think we kind of touched on that already. Is if you have a lot of customizations, you want a specific transaction. It's certainly something that we can work with you on and implement that. If your inventory transaction, if you in addition to what the standard QAD transaction has for 5, 6 fields, if you have an additional 10, those could be set up and run on the mobile desk app as well.
Yes, and also for most of the static screens in mobile desk, the user has the ability to add 10 additional fields onto the screen. And the nice thing about it is you can also set up a function. So say on the order desk header screen, I wanted to show you open orders for that particular customer, even though I was looking at one order. Or I wanted to look at like the 30-day balance for my AR. You can actually run a function that you set up where a programmer at your facility would set up their own function, and you would tie it to the screen in Mobile Desk, and it would pop up with an additional field. And long-term, our long-term plan with Mobile Desk is to make it completely configurable. So the user, at the user ID level, will be able to configure what they actually see on the device. That's our long-term goal, and we're moving quickly towards that.
Gotcha. Okay, now we have next question here is more on the DocLib side of things. Can this work with a PDF document? Can PDF documents be attached as opposed to images? Well, the answer to that is yes. So what we demoed here today was the DocLib mobile application, which is designed in and around a mobile device, where the camera really comes in play. That's only one aspect of DocLib. DocLib is a complete document management solution which enables scanning, integration, email, uploading any type of file, be it a PDF, a Word document, a engineered drawing, what have you. So in addition, just looking at DocLib mobile only, that was really just geared towards taking images and also uploading any documents that you may have on your mobile device. But the full suite of DocLib certainly handles PDFs and other other file types as well. So, okay. Just looking at a few more here. We got quite a few questions. Is there functionality for work order maintenance and creation? Steve, you
currently
there
is. Yeah. Currently there is not.
Okay.
And I would think what would that go into? My guess is that would go into planning desk, right? That's more of a planning function. We do allow the ability to update due dates, but adding a work order from the mobile device would have to be something that would be added in a future release. Right.
Okay. Let me see. Can any of the apps bring in EDI orders? Let me see. Well, just an EDI order. I don't really think that's a mobile. Mobile application, whereas just typically in an EDI situation that we are, you're pulling a file from a service or directly from your customer and uploading that into your QAD database. But I'll take that one offline because maybe I'm not understanding that completely. Okay, let me see. Can we use the same security restrictions that we have in QAD for Mobile Desk?
That's a great question, and yes. If an example is sales order credit release that we touched upon on the demo, if that user ID does not have access to credit release, they will not be able to execute the function. The same goes with our transactions in inventory desk. So the system's smart enough to know that if you're a QED user, to use the security that's embedded into the QED database. So yes, that's a very good question. And yes, it does do that.
Great. Okay, let me just see what else we have here. Okay. I think the rest of the questions that we have is really more in and around pricing and things along those lines, which we can certainly answer for you later offline. And again, if I missed any of your specific questions, don't worry, we'll address those offline. So with that, I think I'll turn this back over to Tim to wrap us up. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, well, that's great, guys. A lot of good questions coming in. And as Rich mentioned, we will follow up with questions that we didn't get to and things on pricing. Please contact me with additional questions. You see my contact information there, as well as Martin's from Broom Street. A lot of information out there on the Broom Street website as well, so please check that out. And again, I want to thank everyone for your time today. I know your schedules are very, very busy, and we appreciate you taking out the time to listen to what we have to say. And hopefully you're excited about how you can take your users mobile. So have a great day, everyone, and take care.